30 minutes right here on this last session. I know throughout the day, many of you have talked about different things we can do together. I have a real simple belief. I believe engagements like this open your mind, but they don't change your life. What changes your life is being coached by me. Okay, and having exposure to me over a long cycle of time, and we were just talking about that downstairs. I come from an athletic background. We didn't practice one time. I spent 4 years with those kids, 5.5 hours a day for 4 years, and that's how we ultimately changed their life. Okay, so I look at my top coaching students that earn the most income, and most of them I have been their coach for a long cycle of time. Take Tommy Davidson, my real estate agent's doing 250 deals. I've been his coach for over 7 years. Take my top mortgage originator, did $287 million last year. I've been her coach for 7 years. So I'm not saying you got to sign up for 7 years today, although you can if you want to. What I am saying is, in my line of work, there's a lot of transient people that come into my life. And I see them one time, and they get motivated for a day or two. And if you really understand what a coach does for people, it is over a long cycle of time that they are engaging you in a set of systematic behaviors that allows you to do something tomorrow that you cannot do today. Okay? And in my coaching program, Monster Producer, are you showing up every week on Mondays? Okay? We just got to get your team on there, right? I coach every single Monday, 30 or 40 minutes with me. I also have an online academy for you to train in every day. I train in there personally every week myself on Sunday. I train in my online academy, and then I write up the notes for the week. And then you get on there with me on Mondays. You're in that online. You're in my Monday calls. Then I'm now doing Prey Drive for lunch on Wednesday. So I'm actually doing 2 coaching sessions a week every week for all of my coaching students. Plus they get the online academy if they're in my Monster Producer coaching program. Okay, so that's one way to engage with me. Get in the coaching program. Get in a frequency with me. Learn the methodology, because there's frameworks I'm coaching you through. Okay, I bring strategy, creativity, structure. And my woman that does $287 million, she's never missed a Monday call with me. And she's one of the top mortgage originators in the world. She's on there every single week. Okay, so that's one option. And see, I'm looking at your life unbiased. I'm looking at it going, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, based on my 30 years of experience. Okay, and so that's one way to engage. The other way to engage is through boot camps like this. My next boot camp, I'm doing one tomorrow on the Monster Growth System. That's the pure selling system where I break down how to attack a day, how to generate leads, how to follow up on those leads, how to convert those leads. So if you're in town and you decide you want to stay for another day, just see the team and they can get you signed up. The other one is December the 9th, I'm doing a Visioneering Day, which is where I teach you how to map out your year. Okay, I show you how to break down what worked and what didn't work, how to map out your year on revenue drivers, all of those type things. So we do boot camps and all of those here every single month. And then we're also doing everything from couples retreats at our house down in Florida, which are incredible. We are not therapists or counselors, so it's not like going to therapy, if you've ever gone to therapy. It's more like we put you in a structure. We coach 3 days in Florida. It's beautiful. We ride around on golf carts. We have dinner together. It's just an incredible experience that we do at our house down in Florida. So some of you may say, hey, man, this would be good for me. And finally, Success School for Kids. I believe every kid needs a coach and a life coach. Like I know my daughter does. My daughter's 10 years old, and I'm her dad. So there's only so many things I can do with her. And so I've actually brought in a psychologist. That we have a psychologist on staff that we're now using with kids, who's a child psychologist that helps them work through their feelings, their emotions, how to control their anger, how to stay calm. So my daughter's about to start working with their psychologist as one of her coaches, and she's gone through Success School. And that's a 6-week cycle where we coach the kids in the habits of the top 1%. Then we kind of have this high performance division where we actually have a trained psychologist that works with them. Because I'm telling you, man, raising a kid today ain't easy.
Is that for a specific age group, Coach?
It's 9 to 17, and then we have a 17 to 21-year-old division. Okay, so if you're interested in that, just see one of our team members. We'll introduce you to Kelly, and we'll get you in there. We do boot camps for those kids as well, where they come here to the lodge physically and they have an experience like this. So we believe that's real important to their growth. Okay. All right. So before you leave, if there's something you want to do, sign up for the coaching program. Get in there with me, because I believe at some point you kind of leave your amateur desires behind. and you make a decision to go pro. And when you go pro in the body, the mind, the heart, and the spirit, all 4 parts of your nature. And the switch is flipped and you're like, I'm ready to play at a freaking bigger level. Like, I'm tired of playing small. I'm tired of watching other people outperform me. Whatever it is, your prey drive is activated. And you're ready to go, okay? And once you're ready to go, what kind of structure can we get you in to where you have that discipline to go really perform at a very, very high level, okay? So that's the purpose of the coaching. And sometimes it's just bring creativity to you, man. It's just to open up your dreamer again or give you a kind of creativity that you need to play at a higher frequency, okay? All right. Up here on the board are 5 activators of prey drive. Okay? 5 activators of prey drive. And when you think about this drive, you say, where did you come up with these? What I did is I took the top 20 motivational theories, I deconstructed those theories, and I basically came up with my own conclusions. And I figured out that every motivational theory, there's about 20 say the same thing. They say we move toward things we want. When we're hungry, we move toward food. When we're lonely, we move toward people. And so the question becomes, how do we get you to want something greater in your life? Well, why don't people want something? Because they are satisfied. What activates that wanter, that wantingness in a person for a better life? And so I started asking, what really motivates people? Okay, what activates people? So I started putting together these things, and I go, you know what? Fear is an activator of prey drive. And in the book, I go through fear of loss. So I think one of the greatest motivators is fear. But I'm going to put fear of losing something. Okay? If you could lose everything you own, right? If you fear losing a relationship, it'll activate your drive. If you fear losing your money, it'll activate your drive. If you fear losing respect, it'll activate your drive. If you fear, my agent wanted me to make the whole book about fear. He said, man, because I have an agent in New York City, and he's like, look, man, fear is the number one activator of prey drive. Why don't you make the whole book about fear? And I started writing this book in, Jack, help me to remember, was it 2020? 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago? I've been working on this for a long time, guys. Okay. So I was really writing this book right in the middle of the pandemic, and I was losing $250,000 a month in March of 2020. Okay? And that hurt my feelings. But you know what it really did for me? It motivated me. Because I was a coach, and I was a championship coach, and I don't like losing. So the reason I was losing $250,000 a month was because there were no speaking engagements. And not only were there not any speaking engagements, a lot of the people had paid me half the fee for me to speak, and they wanted their money back because they couldn't have a speaking engagement because the government wouldn't let them have it. So now I was getting chargebacks. So now it's like, hey, I know we paid you $15,000, and that's half of what your fees are. We'd like that $15,000 back. Okay? So it wasn't just bad, it was real bad. Okay? So my whole staff was used to flying around on private jets. They're used to staying in nice hotels. They're used to being around some of the coolest people in the world because I do events with all these cool people. And literally, three of my staff members went through depression. Everybody's locked up in their house. Now this job ain't that fun. Okay? Now it's like everybody's sitting at home. There's no camaraderie. There's no teamwork. There's no travel. There's no hotels. That was part of the coolness of the job. So I remember getting on Zooms and being so pissed off at my own team because I just couldn't figure out a way to motivate them. They were just depressed, man. And so during that period, I fired 2 or 3 of them just because I got tired of dealing with them. And I'm like, look, I got enough to worry about other than having to motivate y'all every day. We're in the friggin' motivation business, for God's sake. Like, suck it up and let's go to battle. So I would go home at night real frustrated. And that frustration was a good thing because it forced me to get creative. And I started going, all right, how can we make money? How can we make money? I can't speak. Speaking drives the leads. People see me live. They want to do more with me. What can I do? What's the closest thing I can do? And I said, man, I'm going to do free Zooms for anybody in the world. And I started putting out to the world, I'll do a free Zoom for any company in the world. And I was doing about 8 Zooms a day, 8 or 9 a day, 8 hours a day, straight Zoom for 8 different companies. Because they had the same problem I did. They couldn't motivate their people either, right? And some of those people started hiring me to be their coach. So I went from losing $250,000 a month in March to just scrapping. Prey Drive was activated because I was afraid of losing everything.
Before I get started, there is one very important question I have to ask you.
Coach Micheal Burt, Monster Producer Academy CEO. He's a personal friend of mine.
What good is it to have knowledge with no desire? What good is it to have desire with no skill? What good is it to have knowledge and skill with no confidence?
A big part of activating your Prey Drive is finding and refining your talent. This is something that helps you get to the next place.
People are made up of 4 parts: a body, a mind, a heart, and a spirit.
You need to know you, and then you need to have an awareness, and sometimes you don't even know what you need.
So all 4 parts of our nature have to be clicking. Your hard skill solves my problem. The bigger the problem, the more money people will pay to solve it.
Everything is valuable to your future. What I'm really paying you for is your past.
A monster producer combines multiple skills to dominate a market.
When you get to wake up every day and do what you love doing, man, it is hard not to be motivated.
They think at a higher ordinance than everybody else. They want to create new things. I have a conviction about me, and that's the conviction that you feel when I talk, when I speak. It comes across as passion.
You got to learn how to connect to another person at such a deep level that it moves them. You have goals, you have targets, but you don't have a sense of urgency.
They're going to exchange money, energy. They're going to raise capital. They're going to start new businesses. There's going to be joint ventures.
I think your purpose finds you. It is activated. The word activate means to initiate.
Discipline, which is a derivative of the word disciple, which means to give yourself to a person or cause you believe in. Do you believe in your future, yes or no?
When we know better, we do better. Finding the problem that you are uniquely qualified to solve, and you don't know what problem you really solve for whom, then there is no big financial exchange right there. You should leave here thinking bigger today than when you came.
And I want to shake your hand and look you in the eyeball when you make this decision. Thank you. We'll see you in the back. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.